So hello and welcome to Let's Talk SEO. So it appears that there is quite a bit of chatter about AI, and specifically AI taking over from Google search. And there are quite a few pieces here that we're going to go through. The first piece is from Apple. So Apple's Eddie Q has said that Google searches are down quite a bit, and this is the first time that the number of Google searches on their devices have been down for in over 22 years. So this is the lowest number of Google searches in the past 22 years, if you want to look at it that way. So what he said here is people are searching using AI. Q testified on Wednesday during the DOJ antitrust trial against Google, calling it a fundamental shift that's eating into traditional search's dominance. Now you've got tools like OpenAI, Perplexity, Anthropic, Grok, and all of these tools do pretty much the same thing as AI overviews. In fact, they probably do it better than AI overviews. The difference between these tools and AI overviews is that you have the option to scroll down and maybe go to some organic search results, the quality of which has now declined significantly. So at the end of the day, if all you're looking for is an answer, just about any one of these are gonna provide you with an answer. The quality of that answer is gonna be pretty much the same. I've tested this with over 500 different queries. The answer in some cases is exactly the same across multiple AI answer systems. And if you guys want, I'll make a video showing you exactly how these answers, they're just exactly the same. And in most cases, they're just they just scrape from existing content of the internet, copied and pasted quite literally without even giving credit to the author or the website itself. And it pretty much just takes away all the clicks that that website may have gotten from that search query. But at the end of the day, if you look at the big picture, you've got Google that has a $19 billion deal with Apple. So Apple is not going to remove Google search from its preferred search engines anytime soon or from its devices. What's going to change is that people will make a willful decision to maybe, just switch to another AI, switch to an AI answer engine. Let's just say that. But even if all Apple's users decide to make that change, it's not going to be like a huge deal for Google. It'll just be a drop in the ocean because Google gets several billion searches a day anyways. And even a fraction of that, if it comes from Apple, it's not really a big deal. Let's consider the fact that how many people actually have Apple devices. Now, the argument can be made that Google might see a significant decline in quality traffic that comes from, tier one countries. And, that's just going to be a whole different argument. But for now, we're just going to say that this is not our problem and it's something that we shouldn't be worried about at the moment. So what ties into this is also Cloudflare CEO who has said that AI is going to fundamentally change the business model of the web. The business model of the web for the past 15 years has been search. Search drives anything that happens online. Now, while that might be true, I would just, there's a bit of caveat here, and that is that search has been driving the internet for the past, I would say, 27 years because Google came online back in 1998. But prior to Google, I distinctly remember we had Yahoo that's performed pretty well. Uh, there were quite a few other ones that I don't remember, but they were search engines even before Google. And when you want to find a website or you want to find information, you would still use a search engine. So it wasn't like that there were no search engines prior to that. The difference was that, many people who were new to the internet, they were coming from using phones. So back then we had phones, we had to remember numbers. And so now they remembered websites, website URLs, and email addresses. So they would just type in the URL of their favorite website. And most people will remember, the handful of websites that they enjoy using. That changed when there was significant search engine adoption. But the crux of this, and I will put a link to this article in the description so you guys can read through it. The problem with all of this AI goo is that, and this is something that's been quoted, is that out of $100 that's spent on developing AI, the one is going to provide value. So $1 is going to provide value out of the $99 that is going to be burned with AI. And at some point, if that point is not already there, all of these AI engines are going to do exactly the same thing. So there isn't going to be a huge difference between what Grok does, what ChatGPT does, what AI overviews does. It's just going to stagnate. And at the end of the day, if people are not, or content creators are not rewarded for the work they do, they're not going to do that work. And that's not going to serve these AI engines because they will not have answers to the question that people are asking. And those questions often evolve, which requires humans to sit down and write content, research. At the end of the day, even these AI engines are going to grow stagnant. So if you're trying to beat AI engines, you're trying to create content that's not something that the AI engines will eat through, there are a few things you can do at the moment. Now, I'm not saying that this is something that's going to stand the test of time, but a few things that you're going to do. The first thing is think about the buyer's journey. And this is something I'm doing right now when I'm creating content for some of my own sites, is I'm thinking about like how buyers go about finding and deciding on a product. So I'll write that's one of the things I'm considering. Then I'm also considering potentially answerable by AI. So whether or not this is a question that's so simple that AI can answer, and if it's not, then I would say, all right, I can write about this. And then there's ranking for keywords we can rank for. Again, this is down to keyword research, which I'm not a big fan of for now because keyword research has literally died. Now it's more thematic research, and it's more about the overall theme of your content and the positioning of your content, and not so much keywords, even though I still track keywords. So, and then obviously, if you were able to drive enough traffic to that article, the types of things that still do very well, despite AI overviews and everything, is personal experience, personal customer experience, personal your experience, personal experience with products, personal experience with situations. So if that is something you can provide with an emotional touch, so a lot of the AI answers don't have an emotional component to them. When you add that emotional component, that is something that AI cannot mimic. And then the last most important part is that carving out your niche. And this has been forever important, but now it's more important than ever before. So as people want to read what you're writing, as you want to build a brand so that people know that what you're writing is something they want to read, but that will directly take them to your site, directly take them to your channel, directly take them to your social media site or whatever that may be. And you're getting that click regardless of whether or not AI overviews or ChatGPT is showing what you're trying to target. So I hope you guys like the video, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know if AI overviews is gonna destroy search and it's gonna destroy content creation, and what possible solutions are there for content creators. Should they just go ahead and find another job, or should they continue doing what they're doing? Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy ranking.